In this video, we're going to be looking at substitution and talking about why it's one of the most important topics for your algebra and to check your answers. So let's just start with actual substitution and what it is. If you think about substitution in, say, a football game, you would replace players with others. In maths, we replace letters with numbers. Okay, so if we have something like y equals x plus 7, and we want to substitute x for a number like 3, then we're essentially just removing the x and replacing it with a 3. I was going to try and drag that then and drew it instead. So that 3 is being replaced with the x. And that's essentially all it is. We have to obey the rules of BIDMAS when we're doing this. So y equals 2x plus 1. We'll do x equals 3 again. Now, if I replace the x with a 3 and just think, oh, that's 23, then we're not really doing the right thing with BIDMAS and what actually 2x represents, because 2x is just short for 2 times x. So we're doing 2 times x plus 1. And that is where the 3 comes in. Okay, so we do 2 times 3 first, then plus 1. How about something a little bit more challenging, like y equals x squared? Let's times it by a 3 and then plus 5. We'll stick with x equals 3. No, we'll change it to a 2. And in this case, what's happening to x from BIDMAS is we're timesing by 3, we're adding 5, and we're also squaring it, x squared. So that's the indices part squared like that. So we must make sure we do the squared first and then times by 3 and then plus 5. But I like this idea of, filling in the box kind of thing, because we can just replace the x with a 2. And because of BIDMAS, we're doing 2 squared first. 2 times 2 is 4. So that becomes a 4. And then the plus 5. We haven't done anything with that yet. Now we can do the times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And then 12 plus 5, finally, we can do 17. Okay. Now, we can also use our calculator to help with this. The calculator that I recommend, this one here, we can literally do 2x plus 1, this second example here, and we use the calc button and assign a value of x. This black bar is where we input, in this case, x equals 3. And it gives us our 7, 2 times 3 plus 1. 3x squared plus 5. So calculate this with x equals 2 this time. And there's our 17. So our calculator is able to do all of our substitution for us in papers 2 and 3. If we're in paper 1, then we can do this process ourselves when we're checking answers. Or if we're doing substitution, then we have to just get on with it and do it ourselves. We can't check it as easily. But in the calculate papers, we can. Now, I just want to mention what happens if you have a negative number and you have to square it. We have to be careful with negative numbers like minus 3 squared. Okay, minus 3 squared is minus 3 times minus 3, which minus times a minus is positive. 3 times 3 would be 9. Let's have a look at what that looks like on the calculator if we do minus 3 squared. Sorry, minus 3. I'll get there in a minute. Minus 3 squared, it puts minus 9. Okay, and the calculator has done the right thing, but to us this looks wrong. It's done 3 squared first and then the minus of that. So minus 1 times 3 squared. If we use this button here, it still does it. So the rule for negative numbers is that you should put a bracket around them before we square them. So now if we do minus 3 squared, we get the correct answer. Okay, it's just something to be aware of when you're dealing with your negative numbers. If I do x squared and calc and then minus 3, the calculator will do this properly. Okay, so it knows that the minus 3 times minus 3 is positive 9, but by putting this kind of thing in, we're not actually typing the numbers into the calculator correctly. Okay, so this is a problem with syntax and how we talk to the calculator. Okay, it's doing the right thing, but it's not behaving as we'd expect. So just a little word of warning around your substitution of negative numbers. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this video about how important substitution can be for your algebra. Every time you expand some brackets, simplify some terms, collect them together, factorize, every time you do an expansion of double brackets, triple brackets, anything like that, it can be checked using this substitution method. So even with a simple one like 2 brackets x plus 3, okay, or even one that actually trips students up. Let's do x plus x and x times x, because this trips students up. They'll confuse 3x with x cubed. X times x is x cubed. So let's do this substitution process on our calculator. I'll just move that to the side. And we're going to do the question x plus x and calculate it with a random value of x. You can choose anything. So I'll do 10, nice round number, and it says 30. So the calculator has replaced x with 10, 10 plus 10 plus 10, and it's told us the answer is 30. We do the same thing with our answer, 3x, calc, and use the same value of x. We're going to keep the 10, 30. So 30 and 30 match, so we know that this is 100% correct. Whereas if I get these confused and I do x cubed and calculate with x equals 10, I get 1,000. This one is 1,000, which clearly is not the same as the question. So that should not go in the x plus x. So using this process of substitution will check virtually all of your algebra, your collecting like terms, factorizing, expanding, and so on for you.